All right, you're watching the Weather Network. It is Thursday, March the 28th. We'll get to your weekend forecast, and we've had a pretty tumultuous couple of days. This was the scene on March 26th when we had those showers and thunderstorms. This is the Sky Train in Burnaby, British Columbia, and we had a heavy rain event at times yesterday in Metro Vancouver and Abbotsford, over in Ontario. Starting to see, we're starting to see some of these more like these springtime clouds and, active weather getting away from snow and more towards thunderstorm season. That's coming up. Mark Robinson will be happy about that. And then the St. John River in New Brunswick, keeping a close eye on that because although the snowpack was lower than normal, we've got a lot of rain coming in. But first, now we got Nathan Coleman. Now, yesterday we were talking, you were in Truro, Nova Scotia. Now you're in Florenceville, Bristol, New Brunswick. I love the fact that you're going through all these small towns because we know there's some of our most loyal viewers. They're not in the biggest cities, but the smaller towns. Nathan, have you experienced or seen any flooding yet in your travels?
Well, yeah, that's right, Chris. I have that mental picture of 2019, which was the worst of the worst. But this time, traveling through places like Jemseg, Sheffield, it's really, the water is up against the edge of the trees there, but it is lower than certainly those record levels, but just not quite the amount that you would expect this time of year for sure. There's a ball field along the waterfront in Fredericton. That's not even covered, and that always gets covered.
All right, so having said that, does that mean we're in the clear? We can let our guard down?
No, not at all, because I was speaking to NBEMO's Jeffrey Downey, and he's mentioning things like, when you look at the forecast, you can get over 100 millimeters just in one event, and if there still is snow, if that all melts at once with high temperatures, it can spell disaster. Well, I'm out here in Fredericton with Jeffrey Downey from NBEMO. Now, back in Nova Scotia and Halifax, we had a very snowy February, but here in New Brunswick, there wasn't quite as much snow. How has that played a role in the river levels we're seeing now compared to previous years?
We've seen a lot less snow than certainly in years past, going back even almost 40 years. We're about maybe 20-25% of the 40-year average at this time of year, and that goes as well for the snow water equivalent. Certainly at this point we're looking at maybe the chance of less flooding, but everyone has to really take care, stay prepared, just because there's less snow. If it all melts at once, it certainly could lead to problems.
And what exactly does the NB River Watch program do right now? Are they monitoring different gauges in the river?
Absolutely. There are gauges in the river. We also have ice monitors. Those are people who patrol the river and actually look at the ice and test the thickness and see how that's doing. So you have a combination of people and technology doing the job.
And do you think ice jams will be an issue this year?
They certainly haven't posed a threat so far. There is still some ice left in the river, and as long as you do have ice in there, the threat is always there. But certainly it's far less than in years past.
All right, good stuff, Nathan. We'll check in with you again. Yeah, it's less than years past, but we got a lot of rain headed your way locally, 80 to 120 millimeters worth in some of those hard-hit areas. Speaking of snow, it's been a lot of it recently in Thunder Bay. 19 centimeters is how deep your snowpack is, and back in January it was higher, but you expect it to be higher in January. Thunder Bay for the next number of days, there will be some melting going on. Still got a bit of snow going on, but with temperatures above freezing during the day and below freezing at night, that's a nice controlled melt. Widespread snow coming to the prairies, although not anywhere will particularly get one big storm, but a widespread 5, locally 10 centimeters, higher amounts towards the Rocky Mountains. And I'll leave you right now with a look at this afternoon's conditions.